Hey y'all, welcome to Hack Shack Studios. I'm Art T. Bear, and I am going to be hosting this crazy love fest of comics. We have Phillip and his brother, Zayd Ninja, aka Brandon, in the house, and we're going to be talking Magic Cop nonsense and craziness. So how you boys been?
Good.
Really good, yeah.
Good.
Yeah, thanks for having us. It's been a crazy couple of weeks here for the comics. That's been really good.
Crazy good, right?
Yeah. Last week we just had some new sketch cards go up on the page, and we did 3 sketch cards by Vic King, and those sold out in 2.5 days. So that was awesome. And we've been going on streams more, getting back in the swing of things, making the rounds, because it's the last 2 months before the book comes out. So we want to start promoting again, and we have some more sketch cards this week from a different artist, passion for drawing. So we're excited to get those out there as well.
Well, let's back up. You said before the book comes out, so the book is going into fulfillment, or what do you mean by books going out?
So yeah, we have 2 months, and then we're going to start fulfilling.
Oh shit, that's awesome.
So yeah, in March.
Well, let's say hi to some people. Always first, we got to give somebody an award for the first person in the stream.
Yeah.
And if we did, Shinto Ketchup would always get the award. I think I might do something like that. That'd be fun. And then Arch Geek always second. He's always second here. So how you boys been? What's up? Gaming or what? Trademark, copyright, trademark. We got Linkovich. I used to have a shop teacher. His name was Mr. Linkovich. I never knew his first name. Oh, no, I do. His name was Matt Linkovich. And so we got Victor Thomas. Hey, what's up? And we have Matt Cisco. Hey, brothers. How have you been? So, so you guys are 2 weeks away, you said, from
2 months.
2 months.
2 months, I'm sorry.
Not 2 weeks. We're about almost halfway done with the art for chapter 4.
So that's the last.
Brandon, you're the penciler, right?
I'm the artist. I do everything except for the colors.
That's why you chimed in first when it was 2 months. You're like, no, or 2 weeks. You're like, no, 2 months.
Yeah.
Writers are always like, yeah, no problem. But artists are always like, what? I need more time.
Yeah, it's true. It's true. I've definitely stepped up. Since we first started, I was averaging 2 pages per week, and now I'm up to 4 or 5 pages per week. So we're really, really chugging along. It's been a really cool advancement of skill and seeing the progression of everything coming together. So, we're going to definitely hit that deadline, be able to hit the printer, and then have everything shipped out for our goal.
Well, let's give everybody a little POV, a little insight on who they are watching and who is talking. So Phillip is the writer, right?
Yeah, that is correct.
Of Magic Cop. So go ahead, give a little bit of a bio on you, and then we'll do the same for Brandon.
Sure. I'm a huge comic book fan, and just stories in general, and have been writing for as long as I could remember. Even before I started writing, just creating and coming up with ideas for characters, and just as kids do when they're young, and using their imagination, daydreaming during school. So when I got into college, I took writing classes and really got into poetry and short story writing, really into mythology. Took an awesome mythology class, and that really pushed me into comic writing, because I thought that comic books are like modern myths, telling these tales of heroes, and I totally loved it. Got super into it. And Brandon and I have always been creating characters together, and maybe 7 years ago, we created our first super indie self-publishing comic, and we took it to Wizard World. We sold 50 issues or whatever throughout the course of a couple years, and then that went on the side for a while, and we got into the arcade industry and video games and stuff like that. and that's kind of how Magic Cop came to be. It was kind of an idea for an arcade game, and all the while I had still been writing comic scripts because I wanted to start, hooking up with some artists and doing some short stories with stuff like that. And
were they like Marvel DC scripts, or they would just like always create your own? Is that what you always
yeah,
did?
well, yeah, they were always creator owned stuff. I was trying to get a job. What's that?
He wanted to write Lobo.
Oh yeah. So
sure.
I was trying to get this job at a video game studio and NetherRealm Studios, and they create Injustice, which is the DC fighting game.
Right.
And I was like, oh, it'd be cool to get a writing job there. And so one of my buddies that worked there is like, oh, you should do like kind of like a fan fiction. And so I actually wrote a script for this, like my dream Lobo story if I ever got to write at TC, because Lobo is my favorite character. But that's the only like not creator owned script that I wrote.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you always worked with Brandon. So then Brandon comes in, and you got this. Who came up with the Magic Cop idea?
So Magic Cop was kind of like, at our office for the video game stuff. We work at a lot of like pre-existing arcade games and stuff, because we work for the company that owns the largest video game arcade in the world. And so I, at the time, was doing a lot of reproductions for video game marquees and side art and control panels and stuff like that. And there was some guy who had emailed in asking for a marquee for some very obscure video game. I don't remember what it was. And I had also not remembered what it was at the time.
It was
so
Big
I just went up to the boss and I was just like, hey, this guy wants a marquee for something. And it's like Magic Cop or something like that. And then he was like, Magic Cop. And I was like, yeah, Magic Cop. That's a really funny title. And so then Phil and I were discussing about like what it would be. And, Phil and I are like really into like that 80s slick, super colorful, very fast style. And so we kind of threw some ideas together, and we used the Lazy Rider Simpsons couch gag as kind of like the staple for the look, like the cool look for what we were going to do for like attract sequences and cinematics for the arcade game. And then from there, we started working on an arcade game, and it was going to be a 4-player side-scrolling beat 'em up, just kind of like Bad Dudes or Double Dragon or Ninja Turtles or whatever. And we had it all laid out. We even started doing some animation cycles, like walk cycles and stuff. And then it didn't get greenlit.
I would like to see that. Can you show that at some point, or is that somebody else?
Yeah, some of that stuff is in the ashcan, or like the supplemental book that comes with the Magic Cop book. If you buy the tier that has the ashcan with it, the ashcan comes with a 12-page pilot issue, which is the first Magic Cop story that's ever drawn. It's like 12-page real like action-packed story. And then along with that comes like a companion piece with like some history and some original character concepts and some of like the video game kind of like lore, from it was going to be a video game. And then, when it wasn't greenlit, we just were like, hey, Phil likes writing, and I'm getting pretty good at drawing now. And, so we're going to be able to like, let's try to do this into a comic book.
Was the animation cycle ever like photographed? Was it ever done, or was it?
Yeah, so I was using this program called Moho, and it was just a really weird kind of everything fell into place at this really, really weird moment in time. Like Phil and I just sitting in the office, we share an office, and we're just like shooting ideas back and forth. Hey, look at this video, look at this is really cool. And in the game that we work on at work, we use 2D animated or they're not animated, 2D sprites, but it's live action filmed characters. And we have a lot of problems with that. So we're always looking for solutions to clean up the animations, make the sprites look better, fix all the stuff that they should have fixed when they were filming it. And there was a program called Moho. And so we bought it. It was on sale. It was like $60. And for the reason we bought it was because they had some guy had made this like this animation from the old Disney's Robin Hood with like Hughes the Fox, and they had done this animation. It was so beautiful, and it was done in 2D perfectly, but it was kind of like handled almost like if it was 3D. And I was like, wow, you could do anything with this program. Anything in 2D would be so amazing. Like you could do just so much. And so we bought it, and we bought it for work. And then it ended up being like the perfect thing to do 2D sprites for a side-scrolling beat 'em up. And so we had like characters drawn out and rigged up. And I have Magic Cop, or Iggy, who's the main character, and I have a Grey Wolf sprite as well. And they have like their kind of cycle stances where they're just cycling over and over and over again, and a little bit of walk animations for the characters too. So there are kind of like these sprite files that can be rendered out.
That's cool. Is there any way we could see that? Do you have that?
I don't have it at home. I mean, I have it here, but I don't have Moho here.
I love those little like walk cycles of characters, like little like character studies, like animated character studies. Those are always the best.
We'll have to throw those up. Render that out.
We should definitely kind of like, when you look up like old sprites for like X-Men, the arcade game, you'll see like Cyclops, and it'll be like, here's his first frame and second frame and third frame. We can put that in the book. That'd be awesome.
Yeah, you guys should do that as a stretch goal. You'll show that thing off.
Sure. Yeah, that would be really cool. I think people really, really enjoy that type of thing, like you're saying.
So Phil is the writer and Brandon is the artist, and so you're obviously related somehow. I'm not sure how. So then you guys are creating these video games, and then so Magic Cop, magically starts easing its way into your conscience.
Yeah, it was like Brandon was saying, basically it was a side project for us. So I, on my off time, at home or whatever, I was creating characters for the game, whether it be the 4 main characters that are in the story, there are our heroes, or boss characters for the side-scrolling beat 'em up which eventually would become some of the villains. Because that's one of my favorite parts of world building and writing in comics in general is the character creation. In anything too, even in video games. Like I love creating characters. So we had a crazy cast of characters, and I think that just lent very well to putting it into a comic book, because we already have the bad guys, and even going forward from this point, we still have more bad guys that we could put into sequels to the book throughout the series that are a mixture of the 80s crime bosses with magical Halloween-y creatures. So that was a really fun time doing that.
Well, the best part about this concept, which I'll let you explain after I ask this question, is the Rogues Gallery, right? I mean, that's the best part. It's like Dick Tracy or Batman or one of these type of characters that the Rogues Gallery is probably the most fun, right?
Oh, for sure.
Definitely. Yeah. I love designing characters and just coming up with like really cool nuances that make them individual to the character that you're, that's going to be strictly noticed from Magic Cop or from whatever IP you're trying to create from, and like you're always stuck with your main guys, like you're stuck with Batman. Batman's always going to look like Batman, but what you're saying, like the Rogues Gallery is so cool because you could get so creative and mess around with so many different things. And, when you kill one guy off or they go to jail or whatever, there comes another really cool design.
Well, that's why, man, you got to keep creating these guys. Yeah. They're only good for maybe one story, or, you can kind of extend the story maybe to an issue or two. But after that, man, you got to plug in a new villain.
And that's why I think if people are interested in buying the book, they should definitely get that ash can, because in there is a big flowchart map of how we were setting up the game and what levels you'd go through. And on each level, it tells you the boss that you fight and different enemies. So there's like Easter eggs in there of, oh, maybe this guy with his crazy name is going to come up in the next book. So that'll be cool for everybody that's fans to see those future villains.
Right. So hopefully everybody's seeing the page so they have a point
Yeah.
of reference. So here's a visual for you guys. It looks very kind of Patrick Nagel, Miami Vice kind
Yeah.
of art direction, which is very, very cool. It's weird because I was just talking to my wife about this. Obviously, I'm an older guy, but we were like, that didn't seem like it was that long ago, but it was probably before you guys were born, right?
It really, it's so weird. Like I was born in '88, and so like I grew up in the very early '90s, but this stuff was still around. And thinking about it now, it's like, man, I can't believe that was already 30 years ago, almost 40 years ago. And I'm
Yeah.
not even 40 years old, and it's just insane to think about that.
I like the girl. She's got the big teased hair and the headband and everything, the Ray-Bans, and this is so cool looking, man.
Yeah, that is like a running trope throughout the comic is like our main heroes are always wearing sunglasses. And
Yeah.
I put a gag in there towards the beginning of the book where one of the characters mentions that and kind of a nod to why is everybody wearing sunglasses, like even in the police station. Uh, so
Because it's the
yeah,
sign of the times, man. It's cool.
yeah, for sure.
So you have fast cars, hot beach babes, and hotter crime. The only detective with the spells to stop it is Magic Cop. So the guy in the white suit is AKA Magic Cop? Is that
Yeah, he's a magic cop. So magic cop is a title that is passed down generation to generation. It's kind of like if you have the right bloodline, then you're magical enough to be this like elite detective, which plays off of other characters and detectives that aren't magic cops. There's some detectives that think that Iggy, who's our main character, Iggy is overprivileged and kind of this rich kid that just gets his magic wand for free passed down from his family. And he this first story is his first case, so he has just graduated and is promoted to detective at the precinct in Ambrosia. So
so he has to prove himself.
definitely, that's one of the main themes of this story is Iggy proving himself.
Sounds cool. Who's the chick that's got the green skin?
So that's
My
Helly.
favorite character.
Yeah, she's a witch. Brandon loves her. Her name's Helly Nightshade, and she goes, the classic '80s trope where she goes undercover as a prostitute to get information. But she's a big spellcaster in the book, so she'll kind of like rig the team up with wiretap spells, so they could be go on surveillance missions, stuff like that. She carries around a pocket cauldron that she whips up her spells in.
That's cool. Yeah. She's got the green skin like the Wicked Witch of the West. Is that right? Yeah.
Exactly.
In fact,
iconography there. Yeah, it's cool.
In fact, there's a page below when we get to it where she makes a gun appear in this like puff of smoke, and I specifically told the colorist that I wanted the red from the Wicked Witch of the West, like that right one there. That's like the iconic red-orange smoke that the witch uses.
That's cool.
Yeah.
I'll get you, my pretty. Poof. Okay, so then obviously we're getting into like supernatural tropes because like I guess that guy is like a werewolf type. Shotgun over his shoulder there.
Yeah, that's Grey Wolf. He's like our wolf man. He's kind of the veteran cop. So you have that kind of like Riggs and Murtaugh thing going on there, where Grey Wolf is on the verge of retirement and is kind of done with the job. Something happened in his past tragically that kind of he doesn't like being a detective anymore, even though he was a decorated, gung-ho young detective at one point, but now he's worn off by the job.
I'm getting too old for this shit.
For sure.
Yeah, exactly. When we were doing the game, we were looking.
What's that? Go ahead.
I was saying when we were doing the game, we were looking for like meeting that tropey thing because designing a video game that's like almost strictly for arcade, something like a side-scrolling beat 'em up, it's really hard to get your story across. So like more simple the characters are, the better, and the more like easy to recognize tropes it works for this situation would have been better. So we went with like that Riggs and Murda type character for Grey Wolf, so that he would be like, oh yeah, that's a classic 80s trope comedy character for the cops.
Dude, I love tropes, and I think tropes are what key you into whatever genre that it is. So I'm
Sure.
definitely not one of those people that are like, oh, tropes or cliches or whatever. It's like, well, no, those are great shorthands for like, all genre has certain tropes and cliches.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And we, in the story, Phil's writing a story, he's doing an excellent job and making sure that we're not relying on police character story tropes. The story is a standalone, like it could run on its own without, having to be set at any particular time or anything like that. You're not looking for, some stupid joke that's going to be like, oh yeah, that's exactly what would happen at this time or anything like that. The tropes are strictly character design, pretty much. Like, they're there, like you're saying, because, it's something that registers really quickly in the mind. And, from a character design standpoint, I come from the background of character designing and art and stuff like that. And, it's very important to make your characters instantly recognizable when you boil them down so much. And if you're going to boil them down to a trope, you should be able to recognize them just from that. And, that's what we're doing here.
What I want to see the most is just the dynamic between the two characters, because you have this guy with like, the flick of the wrist kind of wand kind of action, and then you have this guy with this double barrel shotgun. You know what I mean? Like the dynamics between these two characters couldn't be further apart.
Right.
So I could just see them like, like coming in for a bust, right? Kicking in the door and going in there. One guy just blam, 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 and then the other one's like bling.
Yeah,
you really get to see that
magic,
Yeah,
you really get to see that in the Ash Can, which is the 12-page pilot issue.
Yeah,
like you get to see their kind of like storming tactics, because Magic Cop uses a good amount of magic in there, and then Grey Wolf, is just blowing people away with his shotgun.
Yeah, that's awesome.
And
one guy's like very like almost sophisticated in his approach, and the other guy's just like brutal,
right
everywhere, and the other guy's like live Guardian Leviosa or whatever. He's doing his thing.
This piece right here is the back cover of the book. That was an awesome mashup piece that Passion for Drawing did for us for our fan contest, and we loved it so much we put it on the back cover. Kind of like reminds us of like arcade side arts.
All this this does, and also this cover looks like the same type of thing with really and don't take this wrong, but like simple graphics. And when I say that, I mean like very immediate, very direct. It's not overly rendered or overly done. It's very direct in its approach. And so if you saw this on the side of a video game, like at an arcade, you go, oh yeah, I'm going to put a couple orders in that. Yeah, play Magic Cop.
Yeah, it's concise. Sure. That's what you really want to do from an art standpoint.
I'm a Batmobile 60s Batmobile fan. That grill is giving me like some Batman vibes there. Is this a car or is this a boat?
Yeah. It's his car. It's it's Magic Cop's, like his sports car. So like obviously if you're a fan of Miami Vice, or Don Johnson's character Sonny, he had the Daytona Spider, and then he went to the Testarossa. And for me, the Testarossa is just a beautifully 80s iconic car. And when we came up with this storyline, we thought that actually it was for the video game. It wasn't even for this storyline. The joke at the beginning of the game was his motivation is like his car gets stolen or something like that, or like his speedboat gets stolen. And it was something like super trivial, but it has to be like the coolest thing in the world, that it's got to be iconic for this guy. So I designed this car. If you go down, you could see it drawn out in like some pencils. And
one of my favorite things is, because obviously I grew up in these times, I was a lot older. I was actually driving cars, like, cool cars, and it's got the sunk in headlights.
yeah,
Oh yeah.
Headlights that flip up. Yeah.
There's a
That's
Brandon is probably in the next few pages he's drawing. There's a scene where it's kind of that Phil Collins scene where he's driving at nighttime in the first episode of Miami Vice.
Yeah.
Where there's just the first panel is those headlights pop up at nighttime, and it's just front shot of the grill. Super excited to see that.
Yeah, I always thought like that they need to bring back the car design. And also I did hear that they're bringing back the flip phone, because I'm sorry, man, the flip phone is still superior to that just piece of, like plastic flat, thing. Like it's very Star Trek Communicator, like open and,
awesome.
And also they can use two screens now. Like, what was that one video, like the little pocket video game? My daughter had that, where it had the two screens on it.
The Nintendo DS.
Yes, yes, the DS. Am I getting closer to the car? I'm sorry.
Yeah, it's pretty far.
It's down. It's pretty far.
Oh,
down.
is this it? No, that's
that's Grey Wolf's car.
That's a junker.
I believe it's after this one.
Oh, is this?
So there you go. You can see the unicorn. It's modeled after like a Testarossa, but just set up to be like as ridiculously 80s as you could possibly get within like this kind of ridiculous magic universe that he's set in.
A little Testarossa, little Mach 5, little remember the Batmobile from the TV series, the old
I love that car.
But the cartoon one,
it has the two cockpits, kind of like the 66 Batmobile.
The 66 Batman,
oh my gosh, this is awesome. I'm a car person, so that's pretty cool.
Me too.
Oh yeah, so is Brandon. Ever since I can remember when he was in high school and stuff, he was like drawing pictures of cars and trying to design his own car. Loves that stuff.
So the car has its own name. It's the unicorn. That's cool.
Yep.
Yeah. So what else are the highlights of the site here? We can get into more detail.
The page. If the thing I really want to highlight, if you go up to the updates, the newest update we just put up today.
Okay, I'm gonna move it real fast, you guys. Don't get vertigo. So if I click update.
So this is the new tier. Passion for Drawing did these 4 sketch cards for us, highlighting some of the characters. We have Magic Cop, Grey Wolf, Helly, and then the big bad guy, Bone Daddy-O, who is our Jamaican crime boss, Skeleton Man. In the comic, he we'll show it in a bit, but his bones, the different bones glow different colors. It's like this 80s neon.
The fingers. Yeah, the fingers are all different colors. Yeah.
So the premise of the comic is he is trafficking these mermaids into the city, and then selling them off as prostitutes after he gets them surgery to get legs and be able to walk. So he's our big antagonist in this one.
So he's human trafficking of sorts.
Yeah. Sure.
This last comment is hilarious. Yeah, I get harassed by Ro. That's true.
Oh yeah.
Like Rick's.
That is true. Yeah, so these are the sketch cards. We just put them up this week. And if you guys already backed, you could get a sketch card. It has its own perk, and then you won't have to pay any extra shipping. We'll just throw it in with your book. Or our featured tier you can get the book, which is 92 pages now, because I rewrote the ending to make it more action-packed, and plus the ash can and a sketch card. And then
featured for 65.
Yeah, that's right.
Okay.
And then you can add a sketch card onto any other perk in the add-on section.
So you're saying
each one of the 4 sketch cards. How many cards did he do total?
He did 4.
So how can you have 0 out of 4? Oh, so you get one of these cards.
Right.
I understand now. Yeah. So you get one of the cards with each one of those orders, and there's 4 different that you can claim. Got it.
Yeah.
I want the skeleton. I want the Bone Daddy.
Yeah, he is awesome.
The card turned out so cool.
Yeah. That's cool looking.
Yeah,
So,
Passion's great. He did it with all Copic markers. He actually streamed it. He streams over on Mixer. He's an awesome artist. He's got he hired me to letter his book. His book is out right now called Doom Fate. It's like a barbarian, babe, bloody fantasy book. It's awesome.
he's invited me on his show. I just get time. Just get time to do all these things. Yeah, because it sounds like fun, and I see his artwork everywhere, and he's really talented. So very cool. So we got the concept. We got. You want to give the highlights of the tiers so people know what your tiers are?
Sure. Yeah. It's your basic. It's we have the digital copy after that featured tier,
Right.
Which is your basic, $25, and then you got your book. I think we have 2 books on there. There's the sketch card alone. If you guys already have a book, get the sketch card, and then the 2 books for your
4 sketch cards, right? Or are these different?
No, they're the same. So what'll happen is once someone buys one, then they'll put in the comments section whatever they want, or I'll email them and ask them. And it's not perfectly set up on Indiegogo where it just subtracts from everything. So I'll have to manually go in there and take it down and then put up that there's only 3 left and then 2 left.
Oh, I see. Okay.
Yeah.
So
it's just a little harder on my end.
You're selling them 2 separate places then.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Okay, the same 4 cards. Cool.
If the audience really wants to screw us up, they could buy all 8 of them right now.
Yeah, that's true.
There's only
Well, then he's gonna have to get to work and do 4 new ones.
Yeah, I think he'll be fine.
Darn, what a pity.
Ones.
Yeah. Okay, so then we have the 2 signed comics, which you get a slight discount, right? A $5 discount.
Yes.
Yes.
And do they get? They probably save a little bit in shipping as well, right?
Yeah, it's just the one shipping charge.
Mm-hmm.
That's very cool. By the way, you guys, anyone listening, this is make a friend. These are always the best deals. Is because you save on the book itself, and then you save in shipping. So I always think of it as like you got a reading copy, and then you have your collectible copy, or make a friend.
Yeah.
Yeah. So then we have signed book plus Naughty. What is Naughty?
The Naughty Prince.
So I had originally drawn I'm an artist that draws naked women all the time. So
it's a family show. How dare you?
So
it's not.
Well, then you guys should head over to my Patreon and enjoy the pictures over there. So I love drawing naked women and stuff. They're beautiful. They're the greatest thing on earth. And so I drew all of the covers with naughty bits on them. And then Phil was like, oh, the audience needs to be able to be like a general audience. So after some talking about it stuff, we went in and censored them, but censored them in a cool way. So like on the first cover, you could see like in that tiny picture there, it's the mermaid laying on that like cutting board. And then the way we censored it, she's like sushi cut up. So we censored it by putting the giant knife in front of it. So it kind of isn't just like blurring it out or doing some dumb censoring or something like that. It's adding to the art piece. So they're both beautiful, with the censorship, without the censorship. But if you're a connoisseur and enjoy the finer things in life, you could get the naughty prints that don't have the censorship on it, hang it up in your office or man cave.
Well, it looks like they're doing well for you. You got 12 claim there.
Yeah, people love those.
They're really popular, yeah.
This is the ash can you're talking about, right, Phil?
Yeah, so the ash can has an awesome cover by Elliot Fernandez. We commissioned him to do a sweet 80s like movie cover for this ash can. It's going to be over 30 pages. It's going to have fan art in it, the 12-page pilot issue, concepts, stuff about the video game. So definitely check that out. That's in our featured perk as well. But if you guys just want the signed ash can and signed comic, then you got a bunch of story and pages for this, $45.
I assume that's both of your signature on each one of these books, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So then we have the Jam, the comic book, the ash can, and the 4 prints. Are these the naughty prints or the nice prints?
You can elect to choose either or
Yeah.
mix and match.
Yeah, because Indiegogo is so awesome. They allow us to put anything we want in the add-ons. So all the covers you could also order as a print in the add-on section. We also have stickers over there and a bunch of other stuff.
Okay, and the 5 comic bundle, is that kind of like a retailer kind of incentive?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
That's
exactly.
5 books, and then it also comes with a retailer poster that'll be exclusive to this tier.
Wow, that's a pretty good deal, man.
Yeah,
Wow.
we've had one so far.
Yeah,
I'd like to think that it's a guy with a mansion with 5 bathrooms in his house.
Yeah,
that's my
yeah. He's working on building his unicorn car in the backyard.
Exactly.
Have you ever seen those guys? They have like these. They build like these classic like movie cars and stuff in their garages and things.
Yeah, it'll be the day when we get like a fan who builds the unicorn to drive up to a Comic Con or something.
That would be awesome.
Yeah, that'd be slick. And then as soon as those headlights flip up, you guys are gonna lose your shit.
Yeah.
Yes.
So cool.
And then you hear the Miami Vice theme song in the background.
Yeah.
And then Phil Collins throws you the keys. Take it for a stroll.
That'd be crazy.
Okay, original art plus both books. Cool.
Yeah, so this is the original art for a kind of like team up crossover print that we did with the Indiegogo book called Door Kickers. And we hooked up with an artist that does a lot of the covers for Door Kickers, and we're like, hey, we should do this crossover print. Both of the books involve magical worlds and kind of like enforcement of some kind. So you have the Door Kickers team bursting in on one side, Magic Hop team bursting on the other side. We could look at it in color after we go through these tiers. It's on the main page, but it's this double page spread. So the original art is 11 by 17, two big.
It's 2 11 by 17 boards.
Yeah. So pencil and inked, and it looks awesome. I actually have the pencils and inks right here. He sent them to me, and they are, they're massive and super hyper detail.
$200 for original artwork plus the book. Oh, both books. That's a killer deal, man. That is a killer deal.
So I know there's a lot of collectors out there in CG, and this is perfect for them because they could put them side by side. You got your sexy succubus chick in the center with some side boob.
Especially if you got Door Kickers also, you're having an original piece for the singular crossover event that happened here.
Is Ted just the cover artist of Door Kickers, or is he the interior artist as well?
He just does the covers, yeah.
Okay.
He's done a bunch of fan pieces for campaigns for Eric Weathers' Flying Fortress.
That's where I've seen it. Yeah. Okay.
With those giant shells coming out of that airship gun. Yeah, he's great.
Shells flying everywhere. Yeah. And so then we have both books plus cover. Both books plus.
Yeah, so this is a different cover. So this is our Ash Can cover by Elliot Fernandez.
Okay.
And that's over.
The original art? Is this what is original art? Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I see.
So this is Elliot's original beautiful art. And we could go to, if you go back up to story, you could scroll down and see this.
I'm just going to give you some advice. The graphic should say original art.
All right.
Because this one says original art and both covers, so you completely understand it. But this just says Elliot Fernandez cover. Because this is for the original artwork as well, right?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
Correct.
Thanks. Yeah, I could change that right now.
Cool. Yeah.
Maybe. That one actually sold it was the first thing that sold.
Oh yeah.
It's already sold. Don't worry.
No, it's not already sold. The guy had canceled it like the next day.
Yeah.
And refunded it.
Yeah, back when we opened the campaign, it sold the first day, and we're like, "What? This is awesome!"
Yeah, it was
and then he refunded it the next day, and we're like,
"Oh man!"
Yeah. And then
that's the thing people don't understand about these Indiegogos is it really is a roller coaster ride. Like one day you're like, "Yes, we're $700 up," and then the next day you're like, "No, we're $700 down."
Yep, that's how that went for us.
Yeah, let me find. Past them already. I think I did.
You'll have to go to back to story because I think you're on updates still.
Yeah.
Oh, thank you. Where is story
Oh,
at? Oh, there we go.
There you go.
There's Elliot.
Yeah. Yeah, that's
With the
awesome.
coloring job. It's such
Yeah.
a great.
Done by the same colorist that does the interiors of the book. He just nails every page we give him with that 80s feel. And I think he knocked it out of the park with this cover as well.
Yeah, it's kind of like a Drew Struzan type. He's got some Drew Struzan, you got some Patrick Nagel, and you got Miami Vice art direction. There's a lot of cool stuff going on here, man.
Thanks. Yeah.
And so am I still going the right direction for the other cover, the crossover cover?
Yes.
Yeah, that one's all the way at the bottom.
I think it's the
Okay.
last one.
There.
Past the blockheads.
Oh, there it is.
There it is. Yep.
Very
Yeah.
cool.
And it's same colors as well. We kind of told him, for the door kicker side, we showed him a cover of theirs and like match those colors, and then on our side just totally blow it out with 80s colors.
Yeah.
He even went in on our side of the page with those like zip tone dots that we put in the comic to give it that retro feel.
Very cool.
Awesome. So the way to get this print is if you guys back Magic Cop and Door Kickers at a physical tier, then we're gonna we'll send you a free copy of this print.
I just want to say something. That woman is very well endowed.
Yeah, she is.
Those are really big. If you kind of draw through the figure, you can like the size of that dude's head.
She's a succubus.
She's a succubus.
Mythical beings.
She knows.
What do you want?
She knows what they want.
What do you want? She's a succubus. Okay, here's the 4 naughty prints that in this image aren't so naughty, but I imagine they get naughtier.
Yeah.
Yeah. So they won't have those censored bars on there.
These
goods.
These are the 4 interior covers. So each chapter has an inside cover. So those are done by Brandon, and those will be uncensored if you want those prints.
And you said the book is like 100 pages. Is that right?
So it was 88 pages, and of story. And then I went in recently, a couple weeks ago, and added some more pages. So it's 92 because I rewrote the ending, bumped it up with some action. So it'll be 92 pages of story, and then there'll be
covers, and then interior covers and stuff like that. So it's close to 100.
Hey, Phillip, did Brandon know when you added the pages, or did you just throw it at him like, here, draw these?
Well, I told him, and he's like,
added 4 weeks to your schedule.
It's just another week, but it was like, man, now I have to really, really push through all of the art deadlines and stuff.
Yeah.
That's all right. I'm just going to be super happy when it's done because, it gets cooler and cooler as the project goes on, and just seeing everything kind of come together and getting into like the action bits, they're really cool. A lot of times when you're drawing stuff like this, you're drawing one panel at a time, and that's what you're really focused on, so it's kind of hard to see the whole picture. But then after like so many pages are done, going back and looking at them and being like, wow, this all looks really cool coming together. So every time we hit a chapter cap, it's like, here, chapter 2 is done. It's like, wow, that was a really cool feeling. And I don't know how other comic books do it, if they're doing like chapters or anything like that, but it is a really cool way to like benchmark a milestone, your comic book.
Yeah, I like that where you have the artwork kind of separate the two. We have your buddy here, Passion for Drawing. He's in the chat.
Yeah, Hill Passion.
Do I want to get into, where was it? There's some stuff where it says they're surprised I haven't asked you guys to take off your shirt yet. Is this it? What the hell?
Yeah, that's those guys over at War Campaign are always asking us to do some questionable things.
Is it more for them or for you?
They're the ones that are enjoying it. I mean,
they want it, right?
I mean, I often just wear a tank top and stuff, but not on stream too often.
You mentioned his nipples. Well, this is information I wish I'd never had.
I'm sorry.
I got sucked into your madness, man.
It's the internet.
Yeah. So, man, this looks like a fantastic project, you guys. So you have a few more months that you're going to keep it open, or are you going to keep and then close it when you go into fulfillment, or are you going to keep it open during fulfillment?
I think we'll keep it open during fulfillment. I know a lot of people are doing that now, and it seems to be doing well for them. I think it's a way to, when you overprint, you'll have the copies, so it seems popular. And then after that, a month or so afterwards, we're launching another project. So,
cool.
Yeah.
Hey, would you guys mind if I share my next project?
Sure, yeah.
All right. Some people that have watched the show know what it is, but I got to start promoting it because it's gonna come up on us soon. So let me see if I can do this right. All right. Yeah. So you should be seeing some line art here of black and white.
Yeah, you got a cover deal. That's awesome.
And Vampy Vamp. So this is for Dynamite Entertainment. And we're going to do a big crossover with my characters Black and White and Vampirilla. And awesome. This right now is with Kyle Ritter to be colored.
Sweet.
Up. And man, I hope he feels better soon, not just to color this cover, but man, that is crazy. What is it, like sleep apnea or something like that? And it gave him pneumonia.
Yeah.
It's so selfish of you, Art.
It is selfish of me, but I actually asked him to do this before he had.
So
can you imagine if I asked him while he was in the hospital?
Yeah. I know you're sick, but I got deadlines to meet, man.
But I really need you to do this ASAP, man. I know you're on some kind of, is he on some kind of respirator or something? That's insane, man.
Probably. Yeah, a lot of people with sleep apnea have those things, but he has that, pneumonia. That sucks.
Yeah, life is very fragile, you guys. Don't take it for granted. Every day that we can take a breath is good.
Oh, yeah.
It is good. Make the best of it. Yeah, so this is the line art for that. Yeah, and awesome. As soon as we fulfill Black and White, which we're, I think, a little under 300 books away from complete fulfillment on that campaign, we're going to go into the Black and White Vampirilla variant cover campaign. So it should be possibly mid-February, I'm thinking.
So is this going to be just like how the Cyberfrog ones were? It's just going to be a cover over a Vampirilla comic?
Yeah, and then we have some, and I don't know if I can say, but there's some stuff planned as well. A lot of extras, lithographs, possibly trading cards. There's some side things as well, but I don't think they're going to be in the initial campaign. They're going to be brought in later, and Sweet. Some other surprises for the backers. So yeah, so this is the line art. This was a lot of fun to draw.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Giant skulls are awesome.
Yeah, they just because one of the things is Black and White. They're robot fighters. And so these are like giant skeletal robots that they kick their asses. Yeah. So so that is coming soon. So you guys start saving your money for that, and I'll keep everybody in the loop and let them know how it's coming along and stuff like that. And then I have a little campaign going as well, and it's Chrono Mechanics. And we just unlocked a major stretch goal, which we did something similar to you guys because we can't hurt ourselves enough for our backers and fans. We just added 12 new pages onto the story. So oh my God, I just finished the 48th page yesterday. And so the original campaign was 48 pages. So sometimes I think, oh my gosh, the book would be done right now. But we just added 12 pages to it. So it's going to be, it's going to be killer because we were able to get some more backstory in there, a little bit more of the big machine beats, and ramp up the action for the end which is killer. We have a dinosaur, and we refer to her as a bitchosaurus. So she's a pain in the mechanic's ass.
Yeah.
Yeah, she was given a sentience, so she can speak, she can think, and she's kind of a little bit of an SJW. She speaks her mind. She's a royal pain in the ass, and so the mechanics refer to her as a bitchosaurus. So that's as far as I'm going to give anything away, because you got to read the book to find out more. So. So you guys, do you have a parting shot? This has been a blast, man. You guys are great guests.
It's fun, man. Yeah, it was great. Yeah, I mean, thanks for having us, man. It was super fun. Everybody that dug it, check out the page and grab up those sketch cards if you guys are interested in those, because those are going to go quick. Like I said, with last week we had some sketch cards up, and they went in 2.5 days, basically. So those are going to be out of here, and once they're gone, they're one of a kind.
Yeah, there's only 4 of them, and they're all hand done, and they're complete color. So that's pretty amazing. Can I ask, what is the backside of those cards?
I know Passion was actually, he was having special Passion for drawing cards printed up, but I don't know if he got them in time. So they just might be white. But what we'll do, if he didn't put anything on the back of them, is we have Zaid comic stickers that we could stick on to the back of them, if he's cool with that.
Oh, very cool. Yeah. So wait, I have to ask you, what is Zaid, and where did it come from? Because I know it's your like, your publishing, icon or whatever, but what does it mean to you guys?
So Zaid literally is our last name spelled backwards. Our last name's Diaz. So that has always been our calling card. Whenever we do anything together, it's like that's what we call ourselves.
So when they call you the Zaid brothers, then that's very fitting.
Yeah, sure.
So, yeah.
Okay, which one's older and which one wins in an arm wrestling match?
Which one do you think is older?
Oh my gosh, I don't know, man. This is a loaded question. I'm not going to answer it.
Well, Brandon's older. He's older by 5 years.
Phil everybody always thinks that Phil's older.
Yeah.
He seems more mature. Is that it?
I think it's the facial hair. He's also slightly taller. He's 6'5" and I'm 6'4". So, there's that tiny bit there. But I drink a lot more water than he does. So I have that natural glow going in my skin.
Stay more hydrated. Yeah.
You get more sleep than I do.
Yeah.
5 years different. So you had already graduated then high school, Brandon, before Phillip came in, right? So you were already long gone, because most high schools are 4 years, right?
Oh yeah, yes. He was out of high school before I came into the high school.
Right.
Yeah,
for sure.
So no legacy there.
Yeah, we didn't get to experience that before, or together rather. But yeah.
Yeah, I had a sister that was she was a bad seed, and so I had to precede her in high school. So it's like, you're nothing like your sister. I'm like, yeah, thank you.
That's good.
I appreciate that.
Though I think Phil would beat me in an arm wrestling match, though.
Would he? He's the taller one too, right?
Well, he does. I work out glam muscles, so I look like I'm really, in good shape and stuff. But Phil, he does a lot of weight, so he wants to be like strong.
So you're like repetitions for definition, and Phil's like weight for like strength.
Phil wants to be Philberg, the old Goldberg wrestler. He wants to be Philberg.
Philberg Zaid, as it were.
Or like Scott Steiner. Yeah. Awesome.
Yeah, Phil wants to be Scott Steiner.
Yeah. All right, man. Well, thanks so much. And your book, Magic Cop, is in the description, so you guys check that out. Go back. There's only 4 of those cards. Pick them up before they're all gone. And please come by and back a Chrono Mechanics book after you're done with Magic Cop. And look forward to that black and white Vampirilla cover. It's coming soon.
That looks awesome.
Yeah, that's going to be awesome.
All right, you guys. Thanks, everybody. Have a wonderful evening. Talk to you soon.